Shalom Chaverim and welcome to a very special edition of the Pearls of Torah. We are in Chanukah, Parashat Miketz. Today I want to take a step back with you for a moment and talk about the connection between Yosef to Hanukkah. Did you know that Yosef is the only one in Jewish literature, in the Bible, who called throughout rabbinic literature Yosef HaTzadik, Joseph the Just? You might ask yourself a question that we have to ask ourselves: why does Joseph call Yosef HaTzadik? And also furthermore, why does Yosef resemble in Jewish literature and in the Word of God an ox? Why does he not resemble a donkey? Why is his symbol a symbol of an ox? Those are all questions that you have to ask ourselves. To answer those questions, we have to look at the story of Hanukkah, specifically at the essence of Hanukkah. I'm sure that all of us enjoy lighting the Chanukiah. Well, a lot of us enjoyed spinning the dreidels. A lot of us enjoy the festivities and the festival with fun and family and friends, eating a latke sufganiya, singing songs like Banu Choshech Legaresh, etc., etc. What is the essence of the story of Hanukkah? What is the connection between Hanukkah to Joseph the Just? The answer for this question, as well as you see around me today, is fairly dark. There's a reason that I wanted it to be a bit dark. It illustrates the point of the essence of Hanukkah. And the point of Hanukkah, just like the point of Rosh Hashanah is to hear the sound of shofar, or the point of Yom Kippur is to fast, or Pesach to tell the story of the Haggadah. What is the purpose? What's behind the story of Hanukkah? If you want to ask this question, the answer is found right here. This is a special Chanukiah of mine, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, because the stone of this Chanukiah made up of the stones of Jerusalem. And as you notice, as we call them in Hebrew, kanim, there are 8 kanim in one side, 4 kanim in one side, 4 kanim in another side. And in the middle, right here, is what we call in Hebrew the shamash. The entire essence of Hanukkah related to this practice of lighting the Chanukiah. Let us understand this together, the connection of this Chanukiah, not just to the last days, but to the entire story of Yosef the Tzaddik. Allow me to read you something from Dvar Halacha as related to the Shamash. We read from a book called Chanukah and Joseph. It's a halachic book. The following thing. It says, Gamka, hold on. Let me find this. Here we go. Halacha Gimel. It says, יניח נר השמש גבוה משאר הנרות ורחוק מהם. It's halacha related to the middle candle called the shamash. Remember the bracha. The bracha is Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של חנוכה. The blessing is a blessing of not looking at the light, not observing the light, but rather to lighting the light. This is the mitzvah of Hanukkah. You need to understand it together with me. What does it mean? And what is the connection to Joseph in a moment? Listen to the halacha. It says, יניח נר השמש גבוה, he will exalt the light, who is called, the middle one is called the shamash, or the servant, משאר הנרות, from all the other candles, or רחוק מהם, even if he's far away from them, כדי שיהיה שונה מכולם. It's have to be a completely different light. ויכירו מספר הנרות שהודלקו בכל לילה, כמנהג המהדרין. So we will recognize the lights, the number of candles that are lit every night, okay? It's have to be set apart. ויש המקפידים להניחו גבוה יותר מכולם. There are some who are very careful to exalt it even higher from all the other lights. Why? To fulfill the word of the prophet Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 2, that says, ושרפים עומדים ממעל לו. The word in Hebrew, by the way, this verse says that the seraphim were standing right there and above him, or next to him, or around him, however you want to translate this. But the word there in Hebrew, lo, have the number lamed vav that is associated with the number 36. Lo in Hebrew means 36. How many candles do we light in Chanukah? We light in Chanukah exactly 36 candles. And remember what the Malachim and Seraphim say, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevot Melech kol haaretz kevodo. So this is important to think about this. We see the mitzvah of Chanukah mention it as a picture of the heavenlies. The question that you have to ask yourself, and by the way, it's continued, the halacha continuing, it says, we are to do this for 8 days, okay? והנר הנוסף מלהם, the shamash is above them, as it is says in the book of Echal Lamentation, chapter 5, verse 11, לשום שפלים למרום, okay? לשום שפלים למרום mean to exalt those who have been brought below, to exalt them to above. Who do we exalt by lighting the Chanukah? This is a very interesting question, because this Chanukah has a name. The Chanukah, or Chanukah, when it's lit, when it's completely lit, it represents the time of the complete Geulah, the complete redemption of the house of Israel. So in the first day, we have a Geulah, but the Geulah is not complete. The second day, Geulah is not complete, and that's why we recite the names of the Messiah every night. We are progressing toward the Geulah. We're looking for the Geulah, but the Geulah is not complete until the entire Chanukah is lit. It's every night, it's dark, but it's slightly brighter, isn't it true? In Jewish thought, darkness represents the galut, the exile. Light represents the Geulah, the redemption. So we're seeing here a complete picture of coming from the wilderness to the land, from Golah, exile, to Geulah, redemption. The question of Chanukah is how one overcome darkness. We have this song that we sing, Banu choshech legaresh beyadenu or va'esh, which means we came to cast out darkness. In our hands is light and fire. Each one is little light, and together we are giant light. The question is, how does one overcome this darkness? Well, the principle in Judaism, again, this called a servant, a shamash. The principle of Judaism states the following: Tzaddik Yesod Olam, which translated, it's found in the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, that Tzaddik is the foundation of the universe. And in Jewish thought, in every generation we have 36, in every generation, 36 tzaddikim, representing by those 36 candles, who make the world go forward. They are a lot of time concealed and hidden tzaddikim. And who is the head tzaddik, the ultimate tzaddik in this story? His name is Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef the righteous. That's why it's called Yosef HaTzadik. Now think about it for a moment. Who in the text is known by the name the Shamash? Who is known by the servant of the Lord? The answer should be very, very clear to us. After all, it is said in the book of Isaiah, chapter 52, verse 13. Hinei askil avdi, below my servant will be Yarum v'nisav v'gava ve'od, will be exhausted and be lifted very high. Who is the servant? The Messiah is the servant of the Lord. But allow me to give you an alternative interpretation for this for a moment. Because in Isaiah chapter 48, who is called the servant of the Lord, here in Isaiah chapter 48, it says, Israel is called, Yaakov is called the servant of the Lord. What is Chanukah is all about is a prophetic picture. An ultimate great and awesome picture of a Shamash representing not just by the Messiah, but representing Israel, that have a job of lighting the rest of the Chanukah. What's the rest of the Chanukah represent? The nations. Israel is the Shamash. The nations represent those kanim that have to be lit. That's why Israel is called in Isaiah Or Lagoim, a light to the nations. The ultimate job of the Jew in the world is to light the rest of the Chanukah, because this represents the Geulah. We have the Jew who is doing his job. That's called the fullness of the Jews, the fullness of Israel. And there is the nations who are choosing to be lit, and that's called the fullness of the Gentiles. Now, think with me for a moment. If I want to light this Chanukah, and I have a light, it's not enough. It will die down unless I have the right oil. Who is the oil in this story? Remember that the story of Hanukkah, of 8 days, is not just a simple story of finding a flask of oil and going and bring the flask of oil that lasts 8 days and that's it. That's not the miracle. Oil was available abundantly all throughout the land. The oil that went into the menorah was a special oil, because they were supposed to and allowed to take only 1 drop of every batch to make 1 flask. Imagine what it will take to take 1 drop from each batch around the clock. It will take roughly 8 days to produce this particular flask of oil, which represent the purest of the purest. The word in Hebrew flask, as I explained to you earlier, is the word pach. Pach in Gematria is equivalent to the word Isav or Yeshua. You see, Yeshua today is filled just like Joseph in this story. He's filled with the klipot of Egypt. And only if we can extract from Christianity the purity of the Messiah, only then we can put inside the Chanukah the true, pure, and authentic oil. You want to know what the job of the Jewish people today is? To find the Jewish Messiah, to find him, to seek him. And today I'm talking to my Jewish friends. Don't look at 2,000 years of Christianity. Of course you're not going to find Yeshua or the Messiah is there. Open the words of Yeshua and look at those words through unbiased eyes, and you will find the truth. Yeshua is indeed the Jewish Messiah. But remember what I told you. He is first have to be a Joseph, and Joseph is equivalent to an ox. You wonder why an ox? Because when an animal goes through the field, and the field is yet to be plowed, the very first thing that has to take place is the field needs to be ready to be putting the seeds into the ground. That's why son of Joseph is equivalent to an ox. People ask me all the time the question, Yeshua did not fulfill all the prophecies, at least not according to Maimonides' interpretation. He did not build a temple, he did not fortify the word of Hashem, and he did not gather the scattered. He cannot be the Messiah. It is the job of Messiah, son of David, to fulfill those things. But in his first coming, he has to be Messiah, son of Joseph. That's why he's resembling an ox. An ox have to go through a field with power and prepare the ground. Joseph called Joseph Hatzadik because he prepared the ground. And today we have a job to prepare to the Geulah, to prepare the ground. And how we do that? By lighting the Chanukah. A Jew needs to light the light of the nation. This Chanukah called the house of Israel. And I found it prophetic that it represents the stone of Jerusalem. Because when a Jew and a Gentile come together and they light together the house of Israel, in that all of Israel will and shall be saved. I'm speaking to you today about this because we need to understand something that there is so much resistance today for Jewish teachers to come to teach the nations. Do you know what it does? It's delay the coming of the Messiah. It's delay the ultimate Geulah. Israel, as we saw here in Isaiah 41:8, called the servant of the Lord. Just as the Messiah called the servant of the Lord. Israel need Messiah and Messiah need Israel. Israel have to go carefully and fill each hole with the pure, unfiltered, authentic oil. What is this oil called? Yeshua. Yeshua is the pach. Yeshua is the oil that go in there. People ask me all the time, should I study from any Jew? And I said, don't study from Jewish people who don't believe in the Messiah, although they have a great light. This light will die down eventually. And the reason is they're missing the eternality, like the Ner Tamid, that thing that make it go forever. And that is the Messiah of Israel. Israel, the Messianic believers, have a job to find those kanim of the nations and to fill them one by one. So each one of you represent part of those 36 tzaddiks. You want to know who Yosef HaTzadik is? In Judaism, every Jew who filled the mitzvot is called Yosef HaTzadik. What am I actually telling you here today? Israel becoming the Messiah to the world through Yeshua the Messiah. Israel and Messiah, Yeshua, are one in the same, and they are partnering together to light the Chanukah, to prepare the way for Ben David appearance. This is the job that the Jewish people must do today. So number one, Jewish people have to find Yeshua. Without Yeshua, this menorah cannot be lit. Number two, the nations have to agree to receive the authentic oil, not the oil that has been put into their menorah for the last 2,000 years. It is the wrong oil. Number three, we have to do it in darkness, in exile, in the galut, with the back against the wall. And number four, we must to recognize that Israel and Messiah are one and the same. Who is the Shamash? His name is Joseph. Remember what I told you. Tzaddik Yesod Olam. The tzaddik is the foundation of the world. We need Joseph today, but Joseph needs us. Joseph needed Benjamin. He needed his brother, and they have needed him. There is a call dependency here today, and we call in this holiday upon you, the nations, and say, Chag Sameach. Are you ready to be lighted up? Are you ready to be lit? Because the mitzvah of Chanukah, the essence of Chanukah, is to light up the nations in fire for the God of Israel. And in that, friends, the Chanukiah will be lit, and in that, the Geulah will be complete, and in that, all of Israel will be saved. So who is this servant? The servant is the Messiah. And the servant here is Israel, working together for you. I encourage you from the nations to come on in and say, I'm an empty vessel. I want this one pure, authentic oil drop from the Messiah of Israel. But if you do pray this prayer, please understand this drop of oil have to come from Israel, because it's the job of Israel to light it up through the Messiah. Let's do it. May this year, 2020, will be a year of great light upon you. And may we as an organization continue to put one drop at a time into your life. Thank you for allowing us to put a drop into your vessel. Thank you for trusting us. God bless you. And I wish you Chag Sameach. You are part of those 36 tzaddikim who make the foundation of the earth goes around and around and around. If you choose to be filled with this authentic oil in these last days, with Israel and Messiah working together. God bless you. Chag Sameach. Shabbat Shalom.